What's up, y'all? It's your boy, the one and only Aswitch, aka Marissa Tomei's future husband. I don't know if she might be married. I'll assume she's married already. Anyway, I still stand by that statement. AKA Tokomaki Tiger Dropper, AKA the undisputed, undefeated, uncontested social distancing champion, AKA the nigga lip master. Bringing you yet another episode of Switches Sites, episode 134 to be exact. Today's date is December 17th, 2021, right at midnight. Man, I'm just distraught right now. I just came from watching Spiderman, so you have to excuse me. I might potentially be out of it because that movie really I can't even. We'll talk about it later in the show, but I'm just in speechless, really. Yeah, I can't even. I was literally debating maybe I should pull this off, but I think I'll snap out of it at some point. It was, I guess, spoiler alert, it was that good. So fuck. yeah man. What else? For those that don't know, Switches Sites podcast is a solo video game podcast where I talk about just that, and obviously some nerdy, semi-related stuff, such as Marvel movies and stuff like that. So, man, I'm still reveling from it. I still am. Yeah, man, we have outside of that, I am getting very much distracted, but outside of that, have a pretty packed show for you today. Got a lot of interesting stuff to talk about, especially the aforementioned Spider-Man. So yeah, man. I guess some minor housekeeping. This will probably be the last episode of the year. Yeah. Believe this is gonna be the last episode of the year. Yeah, I'm gonna take me a nice little break. I assume nothing's gonna be popping in the gaming zeitgeist. So I think that'll be a perfect time to kind of have a break, reflect on things, and come back 10 times harder. I mean, you know what I mean. Not like 10 times harder as in a erection. I mean, it could. I mean, it depends on how you interpret it, but let me stop. Yeah. I wanted to probably talk about Matrix, but I think I could save that for the new year. At least get some time to reflect on it. But I think that's it. Yeah. Obviously the holidays are near. Happy holidays if you celebrating, with your respective holidays as well. But also be safe, because this pandemic is not over. I think that's been made very apparent recently. So yeah. And you know what? Without further ado, let's stop the dilly-dallying and get right into it. First topic of discussion. Oh, this is pretty great Christmas present if you ask me. Splinter Cell Remake has been confirmed to be in the works. Yes. So this was a tweet that came out earlier this week by Ubisoft's Twitter. Let me get covert. Third echelon, stand by. A Splinter Cell remake is underway at Ubisoft Toronto. Learn more about the project and how you could join the team. That actually went from covert to southern real quick. I don't know, but either way, yeah. It got the trademark goggles with the triple green dots. So good. Which I don't know. It seems like it's good on one end. On the other side, I guess that's maybe the more I don't know, sad part is that like this is way super early. Like they probably haven't even done anything yet. They just announced that they are working on it. So excuse me, which is fine. But I don't know. I feel like I guess I kind of would have liked to have seen a trailer and gameplay and stuff, but I mean, clearly they're obviously not at that point by any stretch of the imagination, I would assume. But it's good to at least get confirmed of having a Splinter Cell remake, which I mean, obviously I've clearly shown myself, but huge fan of a Splinter Cell. Loved pretty much the whole series, especially the multiplayer. I think I'm pretty certain I've talked about it before, but love and miss the multiplayer, which I think there is an indie, some indie developer making a kind of a spiritual successor to it, which I still need to check out. That's gonna be in my list if I remember. But yeah, man, it's good to get Sam Fisher back. Hopefully we get his original voice actor, Michael Irons. I just want that creepy, elusive, kind of seducing, kind of sexy. I mean, as respectfully as a man, appreciating other people's voices and stuff, but and creepy at this. I need it. Just need that voice while he, grabbing people. Do you want this? Do you want this quiet or loud? Oh, Sam, please, anyway, please, just whatever you want. I can't wait to crack necks, throw cans at people and knock them out unconscious. I think that was a thing in the original game. You could literally like throw like a probably empty aluminum can, and they would be slumped. It's funny thinking of the ragdoll physics and just slumped. Oh man, it's coming back. It's coming back. Oh man, that's. Oh, I'm just thinking of it. Oh man, the ragdoll physics. It's always the ragdoll physics are way more exaggerated than they should be. You just throw a simple tin can in it. I'm sorry. Man. Those were good times. I miss them dearly, man. But hey, I won't miss them as much now that I can kind of have it reimagined and, well, I mean, dare I say remade. obviously with at least this being announced. So it's good. It's at least good to get some confirmation. I am thankful for that. So definitely on my radar. Anything we see, I'm looking forward to. I don't know. A part of me, like deep down inside, would have liked like a. I mean, it probably would have made it worse technically, but would have liked some like, I don't know, like at least a teaser or something with Michael Ironside's voice, and then you hear the signature, and I don't know, do something like, I gotta save my daughter for justice, something like that. I don't know. But either way, I am just as thankful and elated either way, of course. Hopefully they do bring the multiplayer back. I think the last one, which was Conviction Blacklist. I think Blacklist. I think it technically had multiplayer, but I don't think it had the verses, which I guess we'll see. I guess technically if they're remaking the first one, which didn't come with multiplayer, I guess that wouldn't be the expectation, but it would be a nice, little bonus if we see. But at least going from what they're saying, it's too early to tell. But either way, man, Splinter Cell, Sam Fisher is coming back. I love it. Cue the Dwayne Wade meme. I love it. Moving on. Wow. This story. Oh, man. We got to dissect. We have to dissect. So, Final Fantasy XIV, the game that just is caught on like wildfire, at least from what I've heard about it. The fervor and popularity reminds me a lot of Pokemon for some reason. I don't know, just like some very just I guess why I make that comparison is just a very, I don't know, unrivaled, just pandemonium of I guess something I don't know much about, even though I do know a fair amount of Pokemon, at least the earlier generations. But either way, of course, the recent DLC came out like a week ago. Shadowbringers, Endwalker. I think Shadowbringers was the previous one, but this is so crazy to me that like literally, Square Enix is literally suspending new sales of Final Fantasy XIV due to overwhelming server congestions. I'd really love to be in the fly in the room of like Square Enix's I don't even know where you would call it, the management place where they discuss this issue. Like, I mean, guys, this game is people are loving it way more than we would expect. They can't buy anymore. Just cut off the sales. Cut them off. Nobody gets any more of Final Fantasy XIV. Stop it. Stop it right now. That is crazy to me. But I mean, on the other end, it is understandable. As obviously, if so many people are playing it, obviously, people that probably have been with the game for, I know it's very rough start. I at least recall 14 having a very rough start and then very much gradually improving further down the line. But, hardcore fans like being like kind of screwed because of like new people, like, I mean, hypothetically me at some point, just want to play some Final Fantasy XIV. Excuse me. This is I'm on a free I'm on a free trial right now. I think it's like 15 hours. So sorry about that. Sorry 500-hour player with like 3 characters that like are 3 characters and with a combined total of what 2,000 hours or something like that. I'm totally hyper shooting blanks right now. I believe you can at least from various people that are fans of the game, I believe you can have multiple characters, and I believe the hours are very long in terms of probably various miscellaneous stuff you can do as somebody from the outside looking in, specifically with this game. But either way, that would kind of make me mad now that I think about it. Like literally a hardcore fan that's been with the game since day 1, day 0, that, even with its rough edges, and then seeing the game progress to be way better, probably put in like 5,000 hours, maybe the only game they play. And just, I guess technically somebody like me just coming like, hey, yeah, I just heard this game is really good, so I just would just want to join. I'm just one of the many people that are just taking up the server queue for people that legitimately, reasonably so, way more deserving than me to even play it. Especially this end content that I would never get to until like 300 hours or whatever later. So that's pretty funny. Now I'm just putting it all together. That's kind of funny, but as well, I'm like growing further admiration and empathy for like hardcore FF14 players. So but I mean, obviously the other reason is that I think technically they would get more servers, but because of the apparent obvious chip shortage, that has been affecting that as well in terms of them getting more servers to accommodate the increase of or flux of new players for Final Fantasy 14. So yeah, very, very interesting story, man. It's just fascinating. Like, I don't think I've ever heard, you've obviously heard, situations where people, companies have, cut off sales for, I guess recently, freaking Grand Theft Auto, where, this game is horrible. Let's stop sales immediately. guys, this game is too good. Let's just, we can't keep giving this out. We can't keep giving this out. I mean, I don't think I think it's the subscription you pay, but still. Yeah, seeing a server queue times like 4,000. You're 4,578 in the queue. I'm curious how that works, but I guess we'll never find out until everything calms down. I definitely assume the holidays are going to be horrible too, but I don't know. I'd say maybe they should probably do, maybe they probably are putting this in the works already, but I think what would make sense is for them to have a kind of tier system or queue system, at least for the time being, while they're having this issue with the servers, where, obviously they can go by hours played and stuff. And, for the people that have played the game the longest, I think should technically get priority, when it comes to who's next in line after somebody leaves, the server, in that sense. So I'm curious if that is in the works, but I feel like I think that's fair. I mean, considering, just those are obviously the people that are going to get to this, last content, Endwalker. So yeah, I would assume they're probably doing something like that. I think that's fair. I mean, even as somebody who's not into it and is very much this close to succumbing to the addiction that is Final Fantasy 14. I'm just assuming it is, but yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting. Hopefully, I think this is this is definitely gonna have the well, first it had just the initial well received reception, and of course obviously word of mouth, but now they're gonna get the they're gonna get the Barbara Streisand effect, which for those that may not know is like basically when you tell somebody don't get something, or don't buy this, or sales have been cut off and things like that, that obviously people are gonna want to get it more, and especially when they um, let the game be available for sale, just gonna be like gangbusters. And I think technically the problem is gonna cycle again to some extent. And it's funny too, you got other people like, please don't fucking play the game. I would assume people like, yeah, like super high up, like a lot of hours logged in. Please stop fucking playing the game. I want to I want to play. Which is valid, I think, in my opinion. But obviously would love a world where we could all play and give Square Enix more money than they probably don't need with, freaking Final Fantasy XIV Remake came out on Epic Game Store, I think earlier, technically yesterday, and charging 70 damn out your damn a PC game for $70. You are smoking. But I digress. I heard also the port is not that good currently in its current state. So I'll wait. Wait for the Steam version. Anyway, moving on. So that whole, kerfuffle, you know what I mean. Kerfuffle. There we go. Okay, now I was very off. The whole kerfuffle with PlayStation and at least specifically D-Brand, but I think there were a couple other, related companies that Sony was taken down to my understanding, but it seems like we finally saw what it was, what the purpose was for, which was that Sony has finally revealed PS5 console covers. So I think, as we all generally assumed, basically literally covers that you can replace on your PS5, like the D brand and technically quote unquote unofficial skins or plates. These things ain't necessarily cheap though. For these slabs of plastic, I believe it's gonna be like generally $55. So that seems a little high. Seems a little high for some plastic. That's just it. But I mean, I say that as somebody who did get one. So I mean, it does look good, and it's always nice to get the official, whatever you call it, and then one thing that is about to get real dirty real quick. One thing I don't like about the technically unofficial plates is that it doesn't have the PS logo etched for obvious reasons. And you can get one of these cool things from Amazon and any other, related places. I'll assume Wish, I want to say Alibaba, but AliExpress, where you can put like the original PlayStation logo colors in the area of the PlayStation where it would show. So technically you could put a sticker on the general console itself, and then when you put the plate over it, it'll actually show the native, like, classic PlayStation, logo with the, colors. So that's super nerdy and irrelevant. But you know what? Hey, this is what you signed up for. You didn't sign nothing. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I just find it funny that just this funny coincidence. They just taking all this legal action and then to turn their ass around and make their own covers, which I mean I think again we all saw coming, but I don't know, just seeing it play in the action it feels scummy, but it's like I get it, but still feels scummy, like it feels like the video and marketing they're posting, it's like a big middle finger to D-Brand, at least of the most notable of the, alternative plates. And, of course you can get various miscellaneous ones from, random, I would assume Chinese companies and stuff from like, again, Amazon and other places like that. So, also there are new colors with these to match these plates as well. So you got hot pink. Well, actually, I know they have their, very specifically named colors. I think the one is midnight black, cosmic red, like the controllers already released. It was like starlight blue, and I'm guessing galaxy purple. And I forgot what they matched with pink, but either way, at least matching controllers with matching colors. And I think this is actually a very good concept, at least especially considering our current situation in the pandemic, where, I think generally they would probably release a whole new console, but then they could still use the same SKU and just, maybe just put a plate here and there, or have a dedicated bundle with that, instead of doing a whole process. But I definitely can't wait. I mean, as much as I'll maybe roll my eyes at it, I can't wait to, like, all I'm waiting for is that, give me that translucent blue and I'm in there. Just give me that. That's all I want. Translucent blue. Ugh. You gonna have me by the testicles. I'm just saying, Sony. I'm just putting that out there. If you were to hypothetically release a see-through translucent blue and possibly sell it, as well as maybe a controller, who knows what might happen? I don't know. Something might get purchased. I don't know. But I digress. Yeah. So, with all that being said, that actually concludes the news for this week and the end of the year, technically. But as tradition, for every final episode of the year, at least what I try to do. It's been so many episodes and years, it's hard to keep track, but you already know. We got to do it. We have to do it. And what it is my top 10 games of 2021. Son, I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. I think I've talked about this maybe, but been definitely diligently keeping track of all the games I played and beat, and just for interest in seeing how many games I play. I think technically, if I do decipher that, I think I technically play like about 34 games in terms of played to completion, which is kind of crazy when I think about it. When I put in perspective, I did not think I went that hard, but I did. But it was a great experience. Also, specifically for Mass Effect, I counted each game as its own, even though I guess technically it's one game, but obviously it's multiple games within one game, you know. Technicalities aside, here are my top 10 games of 2021. Starting off, number 10, Returnal. Returnal is a pretty damn great game. We started off on the wrong foot for sure, but I gave it another chance, and I really enjoyed it after, with the horrible you could not, I think there was some save corruption where I think with one of the patches that came out, it literally corrupted your save, so you literally lost all data if you were like trying to play the game and get to the end, progress, whatever. So that was a first strike. There was something else that bothered me. It wasn't necessarily the roguelike aspect, because I played a couple of them and they were I'm totally open-minded to it, but I think that was the biggest one. Maybe that, and I was having a hard time, and then just that that mixed with the concept that like I do all this for nothing. I like literally get halfway in the game and then my save data is cleared. Actually, that was it. I played like a good amount of time. I think roughly 6 or so hours, and then that patch came out, and then the game totally wiped all my data, and I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this. And so I had to cool off on it for a while, and then eventually came back hearing all the patches and stuff that said it was okay to play. So pretty much played through it, and obviously the roguelike elements were difficult in some aspects, but with the familiarity and then how it tells its story actually did captivate me, and I beat it and really enjoyed it. So Returnal, number 10. Number 9, Metroid Dread. Man, this game, as my last game being Metroid Fusion, which ironically is I don't, what's the terminology of its, never mind. It is a direct sequel to Fusion technically. So I was like, man, that's pretty dope. So man, it is a great game. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, the I guess admittedly overused terminology of what would you say? Metroidvania, or sometimes they mix it, sometimes they don't. But yeah, Metroidvania, Metroid, something Metroid in it. They always put Metroid in it, understandably so, but either way, it's a great game. The whole new implementation of Emmy as like kind of a nemesis like aspect to it. The ending of the game, in terms of the ending I guess act, was really fulfilling, really good. It's a lot I really enjoyed about this game, and that is why it is number 9. Number 8, Monster Hunter Rise. As a pretty big Monster Hunter fan, Monster Hunter Rise was pretty damn good, to be honest. especially coming off a World and it making a lot of minor improvements from World to Rise to kind of make it more even, which is kind of crazy, even more streamlined than Monster Hunter World was. They did to Rise, so let's make a streamlined game even more streamlined, and that was Monster Hunter Rise. Very impressed by, at least as of now, currently only being on the Switch, eventually about to come to the PC next year, but was very impressed by the game running on the Nintendo Switch. It didn't. I was expecting like a lot of huge compromises with this game being on the Switch, but it is very minimal and like at least not really noticeable unless you like, I guess, literally played World and then went directly to Rise. But yeah, I'm very impressed, just especially from a technical aspect, how they were able to get this game running and looking pretty good, performing very good on the Nintendo Switch. But I mean, the new mechanics, the I want to call them the ninja arts, but I know that's not it. Wire bug arts or something like that. Really, really fun aspect to the game. Love the Japanese aesthetic. I mean, you know, more heavily than a lot of other games in the series. Yeah, man, it was good. I mean, it's Monster Hunter, so I mean, there's that. I mean, you know, just you hunt monsters, just killing monsters with knives and stuff. That is ignorant as hell, but you get the idea. So that is why Monster Hunter Rise is number 8. Number 7, Resident Evil Village. As somebody who despises first person Resident Evil, I have to shamefully admit I did enjoy Resident Evil Village a lot. I mean, they kind of went off a pretty solid base by you know, taking a lot of inspiration from Resident Evil 4 in terms of the whole, you know, setting, castle and village. Oh man, at least kind of at least having a privilege to play test this game before it was like released to the public and announced and everything. I despised that name. Like, they literally was saying like, yeah guys, what do you guys think about Resident Evil Village? I'm like, it just doesn't, why is it, I don't know. But I mean, at least now it's like after the fact, it's like, it sticks, I guess. So anyway, yeah, it's a solid Resident Evil game. It has the action elements, which I didn't like about 7, where, you know, it had very few action elements, which I think is always a pretty substantial component to any Resident Evil game. I mean, not heavily, but, you know, a decent amount to like defend yourself in general. Pacing was pretty good. Of course, how could I forget? Of course, the infamous character that had everybody's penis hard. And vaginas, you know, moist. I mean, I just gotta say it. Lady Dimitrescu, just had everybody foaming at the mouth, you know, admitted. I mean, it's understandable, obviously. So there was that. Yeah, man. All in all, it was pretty good. Definitely not like my favorite, like, I love this out of a lot of other games in the series, but it was a very solid Resident Evil game. That definitely I would put above a lot of other ones in the series, but it would be it's just the first person camera still gets me to this day. I'm just a fan an advocate for third person Resident Evil games, but I digress. I mean, it was still a fun ride. I still had a lot of fun of it. Replayed it a lot of times. So that is why I consider Resident Evil Village number 7. It's kind of funny because it's Resident Evil 7 was before it. I mean, and you know, I mean, come on. Number 6. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade Intermission. Jesus. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade Intermission. That is these Japanese companies need to stop. You got Nier with the Nier version number 27887933022 version automatic. That's ignorant. Let me stop. But yeah, weird long name aside, Final Fantasy Remake Intermission, I'm just gonna say that was pretty great, as obviously a fan of Final Fantasy VII. But it's a pretty substantial DLC to supplement Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I think is worthwhile. It was like about 10 hours, which I was very surprised by in terms of all the content. And then it gives you a lot of good stuff to savor until the part 2 or whatever the next Final Fantasy VII Remake continuation will be. It was just good all around. It just had a lot of really great additions and content. Yuffie and Ruan, something like that. It was just great. It's so good. So good. Also playing it in 60 FPS. So good. That is why it goes at number 6. So, number 5. Streets of Rage 4, Mr. X's Nightmare. Man. This is like literally some of the best DLC I have played. I'd say this year. This is probably definitely the best DLC I've played this year. I'll happily stand by that statement because, man, Streets Rage 4, which is a great game in of itself, but then you put in the element of randomness and progression in terms of earning new characters, and then they added a lot of the highly requested and desired characters. Estelle, Max Steel, I think is Max Steel. Max Thunder. There we go. Max Thunder, Shiva. They really listened to the fans and they delivered, man. They really did. And then playing the story again with the new characters is fun. Just, experimenting, and then the characters have a secondary move that like totally like changes their properties in terms of like how you mentally at least think about playing them and stuff like that. Magnifique. It is great. Shoot, I got the urge to play it right now, but and that's just a testament to how great this DLC is. It is fun. You could play it with up to 4 players. It is this is the DLC that I think a lot of beat 'em up fans really were yearning for. I forgot about the progression of getting like power ups that also change your properties of your attacks and potentially makes them more powerful. Oh man, I'm getting turned on. The nipples are getting hard. So I mean, clearly that's a testament to how great Streets of Rage 4 Mr. X Nightmare DLC is, and that is why it is number 5. Number 4, Resident Evil 4 VR. Man. One of my favorite games of all time. And amateur studios like, how can we make people that love Resident Evil 4 love it all over again? VR. And I have to say, I was very skeptical about it. And after literally jumping into VR specifically solely for this game, I am very much a believer of VR because they really successfully translated this game to VR, which I never thought would be possible. Which is just, I guess, an indication of just how great the potential of VR is. How, they could potentially translate a lot of other stuff into VR. And this is definitely a prime example of how this game, how VR is actually feasible in terms of translating, already established games into VR. And man, and then there's also the additional stuff that you can't do in the I guess, what do you call it? The vanilla game, I guess, technically, that you could do here. You can dual wield weapons, toss magazines, and reload in the air, and it's very good. Very good. So that is why, weirdly enough, it is at number 4. I didn't intentionally do that. It just I was debating on the list, and it just was always literally at 4. So there you go. Number 3. I'm just realizing the trend now, but No More Heroes 3. If you know me, you know me. I am a huge fan of No More Heroes. Just the style, vibe, personality. Just Suda51 just has that, just, I don't even know how to describe it. Just that it's hard to even describe, just that sense of presentation. That's probably the best way to describe it. Just a huge stylistic sense of presentation that you can definitely feel with every game, that I think makes games a lot more appealing than they would be otherwise. So, and that's still the case with No More Heroes 3. It definitely made some interesting choices, which obviously I think was due to the compromises that he had to make an exclusive game for the Nintendo Switch, and probably budget and whatnot. But I played it once, still needed to think about it. I did play it again, and I think I played it a third time, and I was like, I clearly like it either way. But I really grew to like it, and just again, the whole presentation style, story, vibes is definitely something you will not find anywhere else. I could definitely say that, because it's that good, in my opinion. Travis. It was like 12 years since the previous game. So it's just really good to see Travis back in at it. And this is, obviously it's biased because it's my top 10, but it's definitely a soft spot I always have for No More Heroes. And damn it, this game exploited it to the fullest. But I really enjoyed it either way. I like the new combat implementations. Unfortunately, they didn't. You don't have the various beam katanas, but I really did enjoy at least what they did to compromise that, where they kind of combined them into one depending on how good you play, if that makes sense. But in terms of it modifies in terms of its length and speed and your combo strings and things like that. So really, really, really enjoyed No More Heroes 3. At least now, even the more I'm thinking about it too. Like I could literally play it right now all over again, which I think is indicative of why it is at number 3. Number 2, Halo Infinite. Somebody need to play the with the Hot Ones meme with who's Ant-Man? I forgot his name. Who thought we would have been here? Not me. That is Halo Infinite for sure, because of the, definitely the uncertainty, obviously, with the huge delay of a year back in 2020. And at least I think we all, understandably so, had our doubts about this game. But I think it's definitely very, very, I don't know, humbling, heartwarming. As somebody who's always rooting for the Xbox, obviously I root for all the consoles, but it's pretty apparent that Xbox is considered the underdog in the current console race. But it's definitely good to see Halo specifically come back to its, to its form, with this iteration, Halo Infinite. And man, it really delivered, man. The campaign was pretty solid. I really liked its take on the free roam, I guess open world kind of I guess design, and it really made it work, which I'm very surprised by. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The encounters, the exploration. It's like literally playing I forgot the one stage from the original game, but literally expanding upon that, which at least I guess they really depended on the execution, which they did successfully with this. So that is why man, multiplayer is like undefeated. It's free to play, and it's really good. And they've been continually making improvements, listening to feedback, and I think this multiplayer has a lot of potential to like really be very very substantial, depending on if they release maps, maybe some weapons here and there. Yeah, they really have a really solid foundation to really build this multiplayer, to really make it super compelling to consistently play, for years on end. I can see that already. So I guess it's ultimately up to them, but at least in its current state as of now, that is why Halo Infinite is at number 2. Number 1. I mean, clearly as well, I'm biased, but that is why this is my top 10. Lost Judgment. I mean, I'm a sucker for Ryuga Gotoku games, and Lost Judgment did not disappoint. 90 hours gone, but I loved every minute of it. Very fulfilling sub stories. I guess in this game there are side cases. It's very good. And then the combat super improved, and it's like a very, very great blend between Yakuza 1 or Yakuza Kiwami 1 and Judgment, the original Judgment, where you have a lot of fighting styles, but which I really love, because if you know me, I'm a sucker for some juggles. If you can parry and juggle, I'm in. Just that's all I need. And this game does that tenfold. It's a lot of interesting combat opportunities. You can do as well as of course the heat actions, which I think they're called EX in this game. Of course, Yagami, he's a pretty dope character, and his whole crew of friends that a lot of obviously come from the original game. A lot of continuity in that respect, especially also with the sub stories from the original game. Yeah, man, don't sleep on Lost Judgment. I feel like this is definitely another Yakuza game that's going to be kind of slept on, which is unfortunate because it's a lot to really love with this game. That even if you don't want it, I mean, I can't even say that because I think a lot of the greatness in Lost Judgment is the sub stories. I feel like you miss out on a lot if you don't play the sub stories. But I mean, it's like 90 hours, but I mean it's a good 90 hours. Yeah, man, Lost Judgment is really good. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It really paid off in the end as well. I did not see where a lot of stuff was going, but a lot of the plots really tied themselves up pretty well, and it definitely had a very fulfilling ending. And yeah, man, Lost Judgment. That is why Lost Judgment is number one. So good. So good. Overall, at least reflecting on 2021 in games as a year, it was a it was a very interesting year in a lot of ways, but it was a lot of solid games that actually came out, especially considering the pandemic, which is I think always an achievement of itself, considering like the huge detriment that is to like development and collaboration and things like that, and testing games and stuff. So yeah, 2021 was a pretty solid year, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Of course, there's a lot of games I didn't get to. At least notable ones. Shin Megami Tensei 5. I have not got to it. Deathloop, heard a lot of good stuff about that. I've not got to that. It Takes Two. Have always, of course, the game forces you to play with people, but people have probably already played, and or that whole ordeal of coordinating with somebody to play with strictly is tough. So I've never gotten to that. What else? I think those are really the notable ones that I really missed out on, that really would like to have played, but just never got a chance to. But also shout out to the classic games I actually managed to play. I always at least managed to get those in. Specifically Persona 5 Royal. That was fun. That was that was a good 160 hours that I thoroughly enjoyed. Man, that was a great game. Shouts out Disaster Report for the PS2. That was pretty fun. Games are great, man. Let's not forget that. Games are wonderful. Games are a great experience. I highly recommend it if you have not. I mean, but you probably wouldn't be listening to this if you weren't interested in games to some extent, but I digress. Shouts out to House of Ashes. That was a pretty fun game. Probably next best game from Until Dawn, which are the same people that made that too. So Guardians of the Galaxy, pretty great game. Thoroughly enjoyed that. I think that technically would have been 11, honestly. So so much, but gotta give these game day flowers, man. Gotta give it to them. So with that being said, let's move on to what I've been playing, which has been Halo Infinite, of course. So Uh, finished the campaign over this past weekend, and like I've said already, thoroughly enjoyed it. Pretty great. Yeah, just really good. Not to repeat myself, but Halo is back. Halo is back. It is back to its form. It has been redeemed, which is, as a fan, is that's great to see. You love to see it. You love to see it. But at least speaking specifically on the multiplayer, man, multiplayer has been a struggle. It has been a struggle, man. It has been a struggle. So, since last episode, I think I reached diamond rank. And just to recap, I think it's bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, onyx. I'm currently in diamond 4. The plan was to reach onyx, but I don't know now. It's been a struggle. I'll say that. It obviously has been getting super sweaty. The perspiration has been at maximum levels. The sodium is been increasing ever so much. But yeah, it's been rough. It's been rough. I can't even. I think it's just people that are playing better. Probably, obviously teamwork to some extent. What else? Oh yeah, freaking hackers. Definitely ran into those because it was a lot of kill camps. I'm like, I don't. You just instantly killed me with a battle rifle when I had full shields. I don't. something doesn't add up there. I don't know. The calculations are a little off. I try to do trigonometry, but it's just not. This Pythagorean theorem is not helping me out here. So, been a lot of scenarios like that where it's like been some very sus kills, and I think that's what I need to do. I need to look at the stats more because I know like if they got like a 100% accuracy and things like that, it's like that definitely leaves like I don't know about that. So that's been fun. It's but I have to say it's pretty fun to have gotten back into the, I guess, ranked sweatiness, if you will. I think the last time I recall really doing that was back in I guess technically Overwatch with my friends here. But even before that was like maybe the 360 days with like Call of Duty. And then of course Halo 2 back in the day. But yeah. It's been fun though either way. Fun trying to get to the top, ideally getting to Onyx. That's kind of where I would I obviously have to retire because that's the max level, but I think there is some kind of sub meta game when you get to Onyx too, but I guess nothing substantial, I don't think. But either way. Yeah. Really enjoying the ranked. And then now the new playlist came out. I messed with that as well. They released, what is it called? Something SWAT. Well, it should be SWAT, but I think they call it Tactical Slayer, which is like, just call it SWAT. That's what it is. That's what it's always been. Which is basically, for those that don't know, SWAT is Halo with no shields. So essentially, headshots are insta kill for everybody, and it's pretty much a quick draw, a magic quick draw. Whoever gets a headshot first wins. So had some pretty good games there. Fiesta, of course, which we had a taste before with that timed event, the 10 Ra event. Free for all, which is pretty fun as well. Pretty great. I think I might. Whew, don't let them make a ranked free for all, because it's about to be a problem if that's the case. What else? Of course, Team Slayer is back as well. I actually took the liberty to mess with the PC version, which, for those that don't know, you can actually, transfer if you have, your existing Xbox account, you can use the same account and have the same progression on the PC version. Also, I'm not sure if this was confirmed or not, but you do get achievements, Steam achievements for achievements on Xbox, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, that achievements you get on Xbox you also get on Steam. But I think even the campaign ones I did get as well, since I didn't buy the campaign for PC, but just specifically the multiplayer, which is free. So had some interesting experience with the performance. I noticed I ran into a lot more laggy and inconsistent matches on PC versus Xbox, and I'm not sure what could be going on there. I know there's some issues with PC in general, but I don't know. I'll probably wait until some more patches come out. But overall, I did still have a pretty solid experience outside of that. I think some of the playlists probably maybe warrant more laggier matches, maybe because of queue times and people maybe not playing those as much as the other playlists, if I would guess. And I was playing somewhat late, I guess, like 10 or 11-ish at the time, but I'm just generally still comfortable with console anyway, even though I technically played the PC version with a controller, which I think they match you accordingly anyway, I think specifically by input type. So yeah, I think that pretty much covered everything I wanted to talk about for Halo. So I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm not going to talk any more than I need to on it. After that, also played GTA Online, the contract, which for those that don't know, this is at least what has been marketed and hyped up to be, is like this next big substantial story-based update for Grand Theft Auto Online, which I think we briefly talked about last episode. But at least having played it, a bit of it at least, it's pretty good. It's probably the best. Probably the best DLC. I guess it's hard to fully make that judgment since I haven't fully completed it, but so far it's feeling like the best DLC since the heist update. But what I like about this DLC is that it seems to be more natural than the other various miscellaneous DLC stuff, which I think was always my gripe with the periodical updates and mission packs or whatever, was that, which I think I briefly talked about before last episode, was that it would, what am I thinking of? It would, if you wanted to play this specific story, just to kind of just play all the stories for, or all the missions for the DLC, you would generally just have to set up a match and wait for people to match make. And then at least my experience is normally people would join and then leave, or it would be two people and then we're waiting for another person, or all of us are in a match and then it's just one person that who of course is the host that left the console to do something. I don't know, smoke, I don't know, just punch people. I don't know what they doing, but They away from the console, hosting the match, and they're the last person that needs to say yes to start it. And then because of that, wasting like 10 minutes waiting for this person, and then then it's only two people when they come back. It's irritating, at least from a solo queue perspective, which at least generally for the most part pretty much do, with some exceptions here and there. But yeah, so that was always my gripe with GTA Online in general, was because they always all had that barrier to entry, it feels like. And I don't feel like doing the work of trying to network and find people who want to play, which, even though I've joined some Discord servers and stuff like that, but I've just it feels like a chore, because it's like at some point it's like I just want to play. I just want to play and I just want to play, So that's probably I guess depending on how you perceive it, a first world problem, but either way. Yeah, so with this DLC, it is way more single player friendly. And I think that's what I was getting at, is that like I guess I can't 100% say that, because you are required to I think you are required to do some of the other DLC. I think specifically like either the motorcycle DLC. I think there was some CEO DLC where when you join that or buy whatever you need to, which is again another annoying barrier to entry for somebody who's not played this yet, is like, I think to like hypothetically for one of the other DLCs, like specifically the motorcycle gang, where they put a requirement to play this new DLC, you have to be a president of a motorcycle gang, which you can only do if you buy a property to start a motorcycle gang, which generally, at least it depends on what you buy. I think the cheapest, at least specifically for a motorcycle gang, is like 250K ish. It's somewhere in that area to like $1 million, depending on how you want to scale. Obviously if you balling like that and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's there's that is I think will definitely be pretty off-putting. I think maybe hypothetically, if somebody is the person that has bought and invested in a company or whatever, that they can have like their friends join them and then play the content that way, I believe. So maybe that's technically avoidable, since more than likely somebody who's played and earned a lot of the stuff will probably want you to play anyway. So I guess depending on who you ask, that might be a potential barrier in of itself. But with all that aside, if you meet those conditions, you can then like just go to your place within the GTA world and then literally start a mission, and then go you probably get a minor cutscene here and there, and then go to the location within the game, within the world where all the people are, free roaming. So I think that in of itself is a vast improvement to this DLC compared to the other one, because of that, where it's not a barrier. And then when you want to load into a mission, you have to wait like 30 seconds, even with a SSD. I guess we'll wait and see when the Series X and PS5 versions come out that do actually utilize the super speedy SSD storage. But yeah, it's that in of itself, I really enjoy that. It's not that much of a barrier. But as somebody who's just been playing it just solo, it seems to be 1 or 2 players, but I'm guessing it depends on the criteria that you might have more characters that you can play with. But yeah, at least I'm enjoying it so far. They added a lot of music. I think they revamped the West Coast Classic station where it's got they got 50 Cent in the club. Like what? They got Afro Puffs by I think Lady Rage. And then I think a couple of new stations in general. Pretty dope. And I guess I forgot about I guess what I'm assuming is the general main plot is to get Dr. Dre's phone, because he has like a lot of heat, a lot of beats and songs that he was trying to get out. But yeah, it's pretty good. I'm enjoying it so far. I do want to play more, which is definitely way different than what I've felt with the other DLCs, where it's like it's such a pain to try to just do the missions that you haven't done yet. It's always people want to play the same mission you've already done. I'm just ideally would want to play stuff I haven't played, but it still feels like that's a huge barrier with GTA Online, which I'm guessing it seems like they're trying to make improvements. I think they have a playlist specifically for games or missions you haven't played yet. I think I didn't fully explore it, but that's at least from what they claim to say is a thing. So we'll see. Overall, though, this is probably the most I've been engaged with GTA Online. Since the heist update. Where I did actually diligently try to coordinate and play with people. I guess it kind of just happened, but either way. So GTA Online, the contract. It feels like it might as well, in my opinion, from what I've witnessed so far, it might as well be GTA Online Dr. Dre. That's what it should have been called. GTA Online Dr. Dre edition or something. That would have been pretty funny. Also, of course, shouts out to Lamar and Franklin, who are, huge characters in this DLC as well. Which I think I talked about previously. It's pretty much what we thought, where, he's the head honcho with this company that you bought, and you're both helping each other out, and he's kind of guiding you through the way. And, hey, just, learn from me, man. I was messing with these two white dudes that really showed me the way. He didn't say that. I'm just paraphrasing, but you know what I mean. Yeah. GTA Online, the contract, aka Dr. Dre edition. I thought he was hosting West Coast Classics, but I think it's somebody else, because they mentioned on the radio, like, hey man, hey dog, I mean, Dr. Dre's phone is lost. If one of y'all out there one of y'all find it, please give it back to him, please. Like, okay, I guess we getting really really meta. But that concludes what I've been playing. Lost track. Get into what I've been watching, which has been Hawkeye episode 5. Pretty good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. The build up, and I have to say, shouts out to Disney Plus, obviously Marvel, for Hawkeye. I've been really captivated through this whole series so far. Episode 5 just keeps kicking it up. So I guess pretty big spoilers, I guess. I mean, so spoilers for Hawkeye. Towards the end, they finally revealed / confirmed that Vincent D'Onofrio, aka Kingpin from Daredevil, the Netflix series, is technically now in the MCU. Technically, I guess it's still up in the air how this is gonna play out, and we'll more than likely find out more from the episode 6 next week. But it's pretty dope. It was really good to finally get that confirmation because it's been heavily rumored. So overall, yeah, I'm really enjoying Hawkeye. Very surprised. Who would have known? Who would have knew? And because of that, actually, I also watched Daredevil. Actually, like, I watched like 2 episodes of the first season, the first 2 episodes of the first season, like back in like 2015, 16, I think, and never got back to it. So I'm like, you know what? Now's probably the perfect time. And watch episode 3, and I am totally out of the loop, and at least specifically some of these characters. So I'm more than likely probably just gonna at least rewatch 1 and 2 to just get a refresher, and keep going after that. But thoroughly enjoying Daredevil so far. At least I only watched episode 3 so far, season 1, episode 3. Yeah, had thought of maybe the other way around, but really enjoying Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil. His dynamics with the lawyer, do you call it lawyer firm? I think just firm. The firm Murdoch and that other guy. Murdoch and that other guy, Industries. And the plot with this, I think news editor in chief. I'm assuming, I'm probably wrong in that, but I guess seeing how he plays out with at least this episode, where the one girl that's the secretary, that at least from what I got from this episode, supposedly she was saved by Daredevil, and now she's working for him or something like that, and kind of seeing how that plays out. But yeah, I'm definitely interested. Obviously, it's funny, I watched Punisher. I know he comes in, I think, the later seasons. But yeah, never fully watched Daredevil, which now, at least recently, definitely gonna catch up on that. So now the moment of truth. We have come full circle. And that is Spider-Man No Way Home. Man. Let me sip to this. So I'm like speechless still. So as you saw, like at the start of the show, I was still like reeling from that movie. I think that's just a testament to how good it is. I'm just like, I just had a sensory overload, like literally the whole movie. It's hard to even like articulate and define what I experienced with that movie. It's just, I think that's just indicative of how good it is, man. It is very good. It is very good. It's definitely seriously competing with Avengers Endgame and Infinity War. It's like right up there. I'd maybe put it like I don't know. I want to see, and that's the thing too. I want to watch it again, which that's in of itself is rare for me to watch a movie again. Specifically, probably Infinity War I've watched more than once. But this This movie, I definitely like. I've never felt the urge to want to immediately watch a movie again after finishing this movie, cause man, that's literally I felt so compelled to really want to watch it again. Um yeah. So good. The pacing, everything mattered. Everything in the plot and the scenes made sense, had purpose. They made the plot really just understandable. Uh they did everything they needed to with this movie. They really did. Everything I think every nerd envisioned of what this movie would be, I think they delivered tenfold on it, in my opinion. It just they everything they wanted to accomplish from this movie, I think they really did. Um it's yeah, man. As a fan, especially as a fan of the MCU, uh, it's so good. It's really good. The villain, I think that was another at least a surprise for me. Each villain like was really good in terms of like their personalities. Like I feel like, in terms of the movies they came from originally, in the original Spider-Man movies, um they I guess it depends on how you look at it. They felt very, I don't know, one dimensional, I guess, but it's like now being in the MCU, they definitely felt more rounded out. Like they had a lot of depth to them, which I think obviously is a testament to the writers. But yeah, they're almost everybody was funny, which is very surprising. Like just being able to pull that off in of itself, I think is an achievement. That literally every character in the movie just had something that's naturally funny, not like let's be let's be forced funny. Um, ah, it was so many. I've had this is the, it was the most wide gamut range of emotions I had in the movie. Uh, Laughed, cried, applauded, cheered. Uh, it's definitely up there with Endgame and Infinity War for sure, hands down. Um, I think it might be neck and neck specifically with Endgame, in my opinion. Now that I think about it, the more I'm thinking about it, yeah, it's pretty damn substantial, I have to say. I'm still reeling over it. Like the more I think about it, the more like I go down this like rabbit hole in my head, which it's been a long time since a movie has really made me feel like that, which I think again is a testament to how great this movie is. Highly recommended. Of course, if you love Spider-Man, if you love the older movies with these villains were in, it's very good. It's so good. Fuck, it is really good. It might. Oh man, it's. I'm debating this being like my favorite movie of all time now. Like my literal favorite movie of all time. It's that close. It really is. And shouts out specifically to just watching this in the theater. I've never been more, I guess, appreciative and thankful to actually watch this in the theater than versus, like, this probably would have made me fork down $30 for their, when Disney Plus was having that thing, at least during well, I can't even say thick of the pandemic. We're still in it, but when they were showing their movies on Disney Plus, but you had to pay $30 on top of the existing subscription of Disney Plus or something like that. But yeah, this was a very fun experience. Just watching this in the theater with, I've tweeted about this, but like-minded fans that are all hyped and excited to watch this just as much as I am. And, we're all collectively respectful and just polite, and it was a fun experience, man. It really showed me how wonderful and I wouldn't say overrated, but how not even that, just the significance of the theater experience, and like how unique of an experience watching a movie in a theater versus like at home. I think is specifically, this is definitely up there, like with watching Endgame and Infinity War in the theaters with other like-minded fans and folks that really appreciate the fandom that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So yeah. Everybody it's funny, everybody's collectively cheering when certain moments happen in the movie, and all it's so it's like, of course, obviously there's parts where you cry, and there was one moment you could hear, it's funny, you can hear the sniffles collectively within the theater. So, I was kind of holding it in. I mean, overall, I was holding it in, and holding it in, and I was hearing people next to me and stuff sniffling. Like, okay, all right, I can sniffle a bit now. Then, okay, I don't feel as bad. And yeah, it was funny. And then shouts out to this little random small girl that was next to me in the theater, with her family. I think she might have terrified her in general, but oh man, yeah, I talked about this on Twitter as well. But she she has probably saw a very wide range of emotions from me that anybody has seen, in that respect. And it was funny. I'm reflecting back on it now, but said moment where we were crying, and oh, of all the people, I think even her mom was crying, but she was like, "Mommy, why is he crying?" I'm trying to hold it in general. I'm literally on the verge of hyperventilating. I'm like containing it. And I'm like, but luckily, thankfully, I have a mask on. So at least I'm, within the mask, I'm like ugly crying. I'm ugly crying, but at least just the tears is coming out. And, some snot coming out a little bit, because of the mask and all the, I don't know, condensate. I don't know. Well, I guess naturally, because when you cry, you do get some snot comes out anyway. But it's funny thinking about it now. But man, I was trying hard as hell to hold back any and every ounce of my soul to not just start hysterically crying in that theater. I contained it very well. It was a mix of breathing with the mask as well as crying, and then fogging up my glass. It was an experience, but it was fun. It was like it was cool to experience something like that. You know what I mean? In a theater, which obviously it's last time we've done that was Endgame, Infinity War, in terms of something that was very substantial of an experience collectively, as an audience watching this movie, unfold. So, whew, man, No Way Home. Whew, I've never in my mind immediately made up like, man, I gotta get that 4K UHD Blu-ray when it come out, but this is like literally a movie. I'm like, and I don't even buy physical movies like that. It's like, whew, it's really, really fucking good. Really fucking good. Everything that um, everything that I think we all envisioned and wanted to happen. Um, I guess that's very subjective, really, when you think about it. So I can't even really say that, but I feel like what they needed to do, they did. Without spoiling and things like that. But yeah, so at least that's what I did. I segmented this to this is the non-spoiler part. So I am actually gonna get into spoilers. I'll actually put for the video viewers a spoiler tag on screen to really we about to gush. We about to gush. I gotta get it out. It's that good. I have to. So you know what? I think we will. But this is just a warning that we about to get into Spider-Man No Way Home spoilers. No Way Home spoilers. If you are interested in watching it, I mean, I highly recommend you do that first. Please don't. I'm thankful. I did not get spoiled going into this movie, and I'm so thankful I didn't. So I wouldn't wish that on anybody else. And that is at least why I'm doing said tagging. So again, warning. No Way Home spoilers. Spider-Man. Very last segment of the show. After this is pretty much done. So, I mean, as well, if this is the last segment you're at, feel free. If you've not watched it and wanted to watch it, of course, obviously. Thank you for watching. I always appreciate it watching and or listening. Okay, I think we're good. All right, let's get into it, man. Okay. First off, freaking Matt Murdock. Just building off that hype train of the reveal of Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin in the MCU, which is crazy. Just the implications off that alone are just so many. Man, these theorists and Marvel's theorists on YouTube, at least specifically, shouts out to New Rock Stars. I always watch their content. Really enjoy speculating with them in that respect. Man, the implications. So at least the first one obviously is that all the Netflix MCU people technically are canonized in the MCU, that maybe they were technically within this universe all along until now that they were solidified. But I know this has been discussed, but like the kind of be weird because like this is encouraging people to watch the Netflix shows rather than their stuff on Disney Plus, which I'm curious how that is going to be handled. There's been talk about it being multiple ways, but it's pretty dope just to see Matt Murdock from the freaking Netflix MNU, Marvel Netflix verse, NMU, actually now be canonized into the MCU. It's pretty dope. Pretty fucking dope. And then, oh man, when he catch the damn brick, Oh, it was so fucking the whole crowd. Oh yeah, yeah. Shoot, I was like, oh my god. I didn't say that literally, but you know. That was very good. What else? Um, Obviously, you know, seeing all the villains from the you know, respective movies, previous Spider-Man movies was dope. And like I said, at least pre-spoiler, they definitely felt way more multi-dimensional now, at least specifically the comedy aspect, which I didn't think they really had. Um, at least I was starting to theorize, at least while I was watching movies, thinking like maybe they might form a Sinister Six, like they come in, be introduced into this universe, and then possibly, you know, maybe somehow form a Sinister Six or something like that, which I thought would be pretty dope. I guess maybe technically that might not be completely off the table, but yeah, that's at least where I was going. Because what there's and they really handled the amount of villains on this as well. There's who was it? There was Lizard Man, Shocker. Also, shout out to Jamie Foxx. He killed that role, man. Oh, he had some dope ass lines. I know you're not gonna do this with me naked out here. Oh yeah, man, all this positivity and stuff. I thought you was a black Spider-Man. It's like, oh, Jamie, come on now. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. I mean, clearly that's like a wink in the camera moment, but that is the best exception of a wink in the camera moment, super fan servicey fan moment that I would take any fucking day. So you got that. Yeah, so there was Lizard Man, Shocker, Sandman, Doc Ock. Did I say the Green Goblin? No, Green Goblin. So that's 5. And then 6. Well, I guess, yeah, that would technically maybe could have been Kingpin, but at least we didn't see that as of yet. So I guess maybe in some way it could still be, possible, feasible, but we'll see. What else after that? Of course, probably one of the best moments, best scenes in the movie was freaking the magic of I forgot Spider-Man's friend. I forgot his name, but her and him and Mary Jane, which I know that's not her name, just different. MJ. They freaking got and confirmed freaking what is his name? The dude, Amazing Spider-Man guy. Fuck, I gotta look it up. Andrew Garfield. Yeah. Andrew Garfield, Amazing Spider-Man. And I was like, oh my God, it's confirmed. Everybody was losing their shit. I was losing my shit. I was like, you know, it was definitely heavily rumored. It's like, it's gotta happen. It's got to. And at least, it felt so good to finally get that confirmation. Like, yes, hell yes. And then it's like, they were like, wait, there's more. And then freaking, what's his name? Tobey Maguire came through looking like he was just teaching some kids at church, which it's funny they made that joke like are you just gonna fight crime in that what did he say, something along those lines like church teacher or something like that. I forgot what he said verbatim, but it was something along those lines, like some church church reformist or something like that. And then on top of that, just the chemistry and just overall chemistry between Toby and Andrew Garfield. Oh, it's so good. And then just the stuff that makes sense. Just like, hey, Toby, man, your web shooters, they just come out of your hand like they're your natural fluids. Like, we don't got that. It's like, oh, y'all don't? It's like, that's literally what we would want from this movie in terms of like, interacting between each other. It's like, I love you guys, man. It's like, hey, man, we love y'all too, man. So fucking good. It was just so much comedy, and that again, that wasn't like forced. It's just like, yes, this makes sense. The one moment where they like Peter's friend called like, hey Peter, he's like, you mean me? All of them came up. No, Peter Parker. Me? It's like, yes, that's yes. Thank you. Yes, Marvel, you get it. You get it so much. So, so fucking good. Oh man, so damn good. It really was. And then of course the fight between, the huge showdown between all of them, it just was really, really good. And then what else? Yeah, I mean, Mary Jane dying was pretty sad. Part of me thought maybe she might come back, and then it really hit it home towards the end. Where it all, it really sunk in. Which, yeah, that was, I think so. Mary Jane dying didn't really hurt me, but because I thought she might come back, but at least before that, the whole realization that like, sorry Peter, like literally we all have to, put the spell of forgetting you to actually have it work. And that hurt a lot, to be honest. That, I don't know how it was, it just got to me. Specifically the whole fact that like, yeah, you have to forget all your friends will not remember you anymore. Then MJ, she's like, but I mean, I want to remember you. There's got to be some other way we could do this, and I don't want to forget you. And just waterworks. That's that's the moment where I was like, why is he crying, mommy? That was pretty funny, but man, my eyes were so red after everything was said and done. Man, that was rough. It was rough. And then what even hit harder was after, the spell was in place and, everybody forgot about Peter. He went back to where Mary Jane worked, as well as his friend visited as well. And he tried to talk to her like, hey, being very surface and, like they don't know each other. And then, having a conversation and seeing that natural connection that they kind of had before kind of somewhat form. And then, see Peter like just accepting like, hey, they're okay. And then just going on. And then, oh man, oh my God. Oh my God. That wrecked me. And then on top of that, then they decided to put MJ, Mary, what's her name? Aunt May, right? Aunt May? Yeah, Aunt May. Aunt May. I had to think about that. Have her funeral, or visit her tombstone. And then that kind of hurts too, like, Happy showing up and like, how'd you know her? It's like, she knew Spider-Man or something like that. That's like, damn. That it was like, I got stabbed and then they twisted it. It's like, oh god. Yeah, so it was some hard fire waterworks. And then I was like, it was, I was containing it so hard because like I literally wanted to just start bawling loudly, but obviously out of respect in the theater, I contained it with every ounce of my being. I was like just gyrating like, that was funny. At least reflected back on it now, it's funny. Oh man, my eyes were bloodshot red, man. Whew, it was rough. But yeah, after that, and of course the mid credits, where they showed Venom. Of course, a part of me thought maybe Venom would come in, like be the fourth person to help him out, which I guess would kind of be a bit weird. But I think they could have made it work where he just randomly, hey guys, what are you doing? Oh, you fighting people? Well, the lethal enforcer here is gonna help you all, and something like that. I thought that would have been kind of cool. I'm guessing, I'm speculating it might have been like a deleted scene they'll probably release in the Blu-ray DVD editions. But of course the freaking mid-credit scene where they had him, that was kind of messed up, but I get it at the same time, where like, he's clearly in the same universe as Peter. Like, oh man. And then the bartender is pretty much recapping the events of the MCU universe to Tom Hardy's Venom, and he's they're having a conversation and like, oh man, well, no, it was the bartender's like, hey, so you guys are gonna pay the bill, you should pay the bill. It's like, I'm not sure about that. And then right before they I guess things are about to get heated, he got blipped back into his presumably his native universe, and but be at least the I don't even know how you describe it, the consequences of going into that other universe. It weirdly, I'm not sure how this works technically, but when he got poofed back, a little spick of the venom, the symbioteness, spilled on the bar counter, and so now it's like, well, it's a lot of implications I think you can take from that. At least the one initial one was because I think they were hinting at that Venom can, has a lot of cosmic abilities, and specifically universes and stuff like that, that maybe that is technically could be a conduit for him to come back to Spider-Man's universe and, have the fun kooky antics that they, at least used to have, at least from what I recall from the comics. Well, not the comics, but the animated series. I guess that, or it could, I guess initially maybe infect Peter, like the comics and stuff. And maybe that would be like a plot point in the next movies, because I think they confirmed that he's going to be in 3 more movies after this or something like that. So they they set it up definitely for this to be continued for sure in any way they want. They definitely gave them themselves a very comfortable blanket to like kind of reboot in a weird way, which is kind of weird in the context of this series of his movies, but it technically kind of sets it up for him to kind of start anew in terms of whole new plot lines and yeah, which is crazy. But and I guess maybe obviously that they can affect somebody else, or maybe there is a different Eddie. Nah, I don't know. That would get a bit too confusing, but I mean, I don't know. I think the biggest likelihood is the fact that it would be a conduit for Venom to transport back to um Tom Holland's Spider-Man universe, and somehow that may come into play. Cause it's kind of messed up. Like Tom Hardy literally is transported into his universe, but they never interacted at all. And then he, crap, I gotta get transported back, and then they just drop that droplet of his symbioteness. I don't know. I think that's my suspicion. My theory is that he'll be able to use that in some way, shape, or form to come back to this universe, to fuck with Tom fuck with Tom Holland, and have hilarious antics, because you cannot just not have Spider-Man and Venom have their fun, which I definitely would like to see. But then after that, they like gave you a full-blown trailer to the next Doctor Strange and the House of Madness, I think, which is pretty dope. You get like a substantial, like a lot of context and information from that, which is pretty dope. I thought I definitely liked it. So, whew, man, and then that's the thing on top of it. It was like an overload of like just whoa. It's like so much like very important, substantial information that came with that movie. It's like, fuck, I really want to watch it again and kind of pick up on some other stuff I didn't possibly realize as well, even though I tried to absorb everything. But man, it's really fucking good. Just they treated Toby and Andrew Garfield so well. That was just like the most perfect, ideal implementation of them into this. It was so freaking good, man. It's like literally every scene I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I would want from this. They delivered it like exactly, and then some. That it's really good, man. I'm still reeling over it, man. I've never like been that like impacted by a movie in like a really long time. I dare I say even like Endgame. I think Endgame felt very conclusive, so I think that was part of it. But like, just with this, it's like, they just did everything I wanted personally. I guess the one negative gripe, if I could really, and that's this technically really isn't, but like, would have liked to have seen Venom, but I know he's probably gonna come in the next line of Spider-Man movies to some extent. I did find it interesting that Tom Holland did swing over Rockefeller Center, which is literally what I think the finale of Hawkeye is gonna be at as well. So I doubt it's gonna be. Maybe it could be a Tom Holland cameo, but knowing how strict I think Sony is of using Spider-Man in certain movies, that I don't think they would just have him as a minimum. Maybe they might reference him. I could see that, especially with the Kingpin thing. Probably just the implication of just some continuation and interaction between, him and Kingpin would be pretty dope. It's like a lot to process. I think that's it. I'm just like trying to process and like, man, did this really happen? Cause like, it is so good, man. It's so good. I'm sorry. It's just like I literally like was like blank in like reflection that like how could a movie be this so damn good and damn pretty much perfect. I can't really think of anything I didn't like. It's like the pace was really good. Everything just was important and made sense. Ah, yeah. I guess you could pick at the fact that, well, no, that's kind of expected of Peter. So I can't even say that. I was going to criticize the fact that, Peter, fought Doctor Strange like, hey, we can save these people. And technically he did, but, at the cost of Aunt May. So, yeah, man. It's really good. Yeah, I'm definitely want to watch it again. And that is very, like I said, that is very rare for me to want to watch a movie again, at least as well in the theater. I think only Infinity War I watched a couple times. I don't think I did with Endgame for some reason, but I definitely would. Yeah. It's really good. Really good. Okay. I think that is I think that'll do it for the spoilers. I think that'll conclude that. And yeah, I think outside of that, that also will conclude episode 134 of Switch's Sites. Yeah. If you did enjoy and or listen enjoy and or listening to the show, feel free to like, rate, subscribe, 5-star rating or whatever rating you want on your other various podcasting platforms. Appreciate it. Catch me live recording on Twitch TV/Aswitch Thursday evenings, at least in this case night. Also youtube.com/Aswitch as well, which these videos are also uploaded to. You can also follow me on Twitter at Aswitch. Yeah. Whew, that was a great Christmas present. But until next time, y'all, happy holidays. See you in 2022. Get your damn game on. Feel free to fuck. Oh yeah. Nobody's safe.